What's up, guys? So this video is going to be 4 tips on things that I wish I would have done the first time around on my first postpartum journey. If you've been following me, I documented my first postpartum journey, but there was a huge gap. So I didn't start until probably after a year. And by that time, I was learning as I was going, and there's some things that I picked up on that now that I know and I'm knowledgeable of, I'm not going to make the same mistakes. And I kind of want to share those tips with you, hoping that it's able to help any of you guys on your weight loss journey, your postpartum journey, because I am here and we're in this together. It's the struggle, but we got each other. Soul Boba, sponsor me. Okay, so my first tip is meal prepping. Food is so important, guys. You know what they say, it's 80% nutrition, 20% fitness or working out. And what I mean by that is when I started meal prepping, I seen a huge benefit and huge propel into my weight loss. At the time, I wasn't really focused on weight loss, but I could just see the change in different parts of my body that I wanted to change. I would say minimize eating out too, because at restaurants or wherever, you don't really know what they're putting into the food. You don't know the kind of measurements, especially if you're in a calorie deficit. For me, what's huge during the summer times is family functions, holidays as well. I come from a big family, so does my partner, and there's a lot of good food, let's be honest. So what I like to do is save some of those calories during the week for when that event comes, or meeting up with a friend and eating out, so that you could still adhere to your calorie bank, and still be on track for your weight loss as well. You don't want to deprive yourself, or not, or what are the right words for it? You don't want to put in your head oh, I can't have this, because it's gonna make you want it even more. And when you are in that neglecting mindset of depriving yourself from those things, a lot of bad things can come from that, like binging and overeating and getting in this vicious cycle of overcompensating. And what I mean by overcompensating is, say that you're doing really good first day, second day, third day, and then the 4th day comes around, you're at an event or a family function or wherever you may be, and then you overindulge on a lot of things, and then you feel really bad about it, and you start kicking yourself and stressing yourself out. And so the next day you think that you need to cut your calories in half, and you need to work out really hard. That's what I mean by overcompensating, and it's just a vicious cycle of never ending, and it just puts your mind and your body in just this stressful situation, and you just don't want that. So that's my second tip. My third tip is weight training, strength training. I wish I would have done this in the very beginning, because there's so many great benefits to it, and there's negative stigma on weightlifting with females, you're gonna get hella big and turn into the Hulk or something. And actually it is the opposite. You don't have to necessarily lift heavy to what I'm gonna do is incorporate small weights and target those areas that I want to lean out and tighten up. So definitely weight training, strength training is so good for you, and it actually propel your weight loss. Third is educate yourself. Educate yourself on all areas that you lack. For me specifically, it is nutrition. Something that I've always struggled with is a healthy relationship with food. And instead of it being my weakness, I definitely want to turn it into my strength. And it's one of my fitness goals this time around. you know, seek out resources. There's so many free resources out there. Like YouTube is a great platform. I'm seeing more like healthcare providers, like dermatologists, doctors, all hopping on YouTube and sharing their insight on all these different topics, you know. And there's definitely books out there. There's audio books that you could utilize if you don't like, you know, reading. There's podcasts. Did I already say podcast? I don't know. The 2 books that I'm reading is this one, How Not to Die, and Gut Health. 2 very good books, so you can look into those. I'll put the link below for you to get them if you're interested in them, but definitely educate yourself, because the more you know, the more that you can better yourself and be knowledgeable of that topic. My 4th tip is self-love and body love. You know, it kind of seems like it is a no-brainer, but it is easier said than done. And it's something that I had to work on a lot, you know. It didn't come overnight, and it's something that I'm still struggling with. But now I could look at myself in the mirror and love my body and love the stages that I go through. I was literally at the best shape of my life, and then I got pregnant, and, you know, my body transformed as it should for a baby. And then I had the baby, and I'm left with, you know, soft skin, loose skin in some areas, some stretch marks, some cellulite, you know, and that's totally okay with me. You know, as females, we need to give each other more credit and have grace with ourselves. You having a baby and putting on extra weight is not a bad thing. It is your body doing what it needs to do in order for your baby to be nourished after it comes, in order for you to be able to sustain life. Your body is literally taking that stored fat and nourishing your baby for all the nutrients that it needs. So women's bodies are just so amazing, and I could just go on and on about it and how much that we should love our bodies and just have gratitude. And I think that's the word that I really want to utilize, is having gratitude. There's so many people out there that don't have working arms, don't have working legs, don't have working lungs, and there are people out there that have prosthetic legs and arms that are still killing it and not letting that, you know, define them and hold them back, you know. So why should we, you know? So just be grateful that you have an able body and that you're able to move, and love your body for the stages that it's in, because it's only temporary, and if you choose, you could always make those changes. Just know that you could always reinvent yourself. You could always rewrite your story, and you don't always have to be in a box and think that, oh, this is the way that I am, this is the way that I always will be. Anything is possible, and you could always make those changes and always grow. And I just encourage you, you know, to always look to better yourself and be the best version of yourself. So those are my 4 tips. I hope I was able to help anyone that needed to hear this, or spread some kind of enlightenment. Maybe I convinced you to subscribe and like my channel. No, maybe next time. But please stay tuned for the next videos that are going to be dropping. Hit that notification button, and I'll see you guys later.